Hello guys, welcome back to Smiles Code. So today we're going to be talking about Spec Code Editor. Now you might be wondering, does Spec Editor have a desktop version? Well, turns out it doesn't. Well, the entire app is built to be responsive. So when you download it on a responsive interface, that is the landscape interface, it goes to be responsive. And it's pretty insane and cool. So, if you're a programmer and you play around with the languages such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, then this video is for you. Or maybe you're just someone who would like to start programming, or you don't have a system to help you do that. Well, you could do that with your mobile phone. So whether you're on a mobile phone or on a desktop version of this Spec Code Editor app, doesn't matter. The commands, executions, everything is just the same. The only difference that you'll notice is with the layouts. Now let's get into the video so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so as you can see, there's no other special way to install this particular application. Just head on over to Play Store as usual and search for Spec Editor, and you get the first app that comes. Just go ahead and install that. So on installing, just click open. And once the app opens, the normal interface opens. And just like in the previous video that I made, you notice that there aren't much significant changes. It's just more like a web application when it goes from a mobile view to a desktop view. What you can see is that the orientations, they're changed. Now the workspaces, the menu for the workspaces, the editors, the Git repos, all lined up by the left hand side of the screen. Right here, the project here, the recent projects visited, and then the template, which obviously is meant to help you start up a new project. Now this is the workspace, and this is what we're seeing right here. You can go ahead and search for a project if you have a bunch of projects, and for me, I just have four of them, and I'm not gonna go into that yet. So right here at the top right hand of the screen, you could see the clone and the create button. Now the clone button would be to clone repositories from GitHub. Okay, once you get a GitHub repository, you could just copy the link right here and make sure GitHub or any other host is selected, and then you could also choose the storage where you want it to be. Then you could just go ahead and press OK. Create, however, is to create a template, an existing template, depending on what language you'd like to utilize to do what you want to do. Now, just like in the previous video, this application is stacked with a whole bunch of the languages and frameworks. Particularly for JavaScript, you could see React right here. You could see a VU. You see some frameworks like Bootstrap 5 and TypeScript, and then the JavaScript. All right, so you could also import zip files from your storage. So basically, it's just the interface that changed on this particular device. Nothing so obnoxious, nothing so specific. However, it plays a really, really crucial part in how this application works. Yes, it does. Yeah, because right now you don't have floating keyboards on your screen. You have a whole bunch of workspaces. We're gonna get into it, and you can see. And at the end of this video, we're going to be comparing, you know, the Android version and then this desktop version of this application, so that you can see what I'm talking about. Now, talking about the key panels that are clearly seen on the menu bar, you could see the workspace right here, which is the current window that we're at. You could see the files, which contains the files of the current project that you're currently logged on into. And then you could see the search if you want to search for specific letters in your file, for each file. Now, I've covered partly most of these things in the Android version of this video. And if you'd like to see that, maybe you are on a mobile phone and you'd like to see how to use the mobile version, you could also check out the video. The link will be on the description below. And then the repo is right here for source control. If you want to initialize a repository, this is basically for GitHub. This icon right here is for your account. If you want to see your account upgrade to a paid version, and etc etc. Now this is for the labs. In the lab space, we can have access to several projects that has been launched by you know people on this space that created awesome things and just gave it off for other people to have access to them. So you could see a whole bunch of applications right here made from HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You could see calendars, CSS fans. You could see games. You could see awesome things that are not just the conventional usage of the CSS application. And right here, we are having the logs, the change logs. Now, this is a space where you could actually see the updates on these applications. Now, if you start scrolling down, you are going to acquaint yourself with a bunch of updates starting from 7.0 up to 8.1. And I think the last video I made had a 6 point something update. So we're at the later updates. And of course, some bugs has been changed, a whole lot of them. We're not gonna go into all of them, but there were new things that were added, and of course some of them are now paid. As you can see, the spec light version of this application. All right, now let's go into the usage of some of these panels so that we can see and contrast how it correlates with the mobile version. So just like in the mobile version, if you want to create a new um, project, you could just come down here to the templates and click a particular template that you want, or you could simply click on create and then click on a template. So when you click on a template, you could call this another project, create. And just like in the previous video, I'm gonna be making reference to that because I mostly explained all of this in that video. We're having three basic files. First of which is the HTML file, which contains a dummy HTML template, a main.js file, and then it styles the CSS file. So right now we will be looking in-depthly on this desktop version of Spck Editor to see how nice it is and actually how it makes your work much more easier and faster. So we'll be exploring some of the tools that you will be seeing on the screen. So let's just start at the right top corner of the screen. So just at the right corner of the screen, you're going to be seeing three icons. And this is the find icon, the search and find that helps you to find words in your document depending on the particular document you are in. Currently, we are in index.html, could be main.js or style.css, but currently we are in index.html. So we could find any particular word. So if, for example, we wanted to change this HTML title, we're going to type HTML right here, and already you could see every single word that is HTML is highlighted in this document. So we could do a couple of things with this. We could highlight every single word on this document that has HTML in it by clicking on this format symbol, and we could either change the word there altogether, or we could simply delete it. So we could go, instead of HTML, we could go hi there. So as you can see on the screen, everywhere that there was HTML, now we're having hi there. So that is how powerful the search and find icon is. And you can also get it up with Control F on your keyboard. If I just hit Control or Command F, I get the search and find tool. Now we could also do a couple of other things. We could make it case sensitive by highlighting this particular icon. Now, as you can see, only the HTML elements that have the letters on caps, just as it appears here, is highlighted. But if I remove the case sensitivity, it ignores every whether it's on capital or lowercase. Now we can skip down or up by clicking on these two arrow buttons, or we can cancel it by hitting the cancel right here. So say we want to replace just the HTML on title, we could do that by going here. Instead of using this format symbol and replacing every single place where HTML appeared, we could also do that by clicking on this icon right here. And then as you can see, this place says replace. Now, whatever word you put here will be used to replace this particular highlighted text. So we can say first project. Now, when we click on the replace icon right here, the first one, we should be able to get the HTML as first project. As you can see right now, it has changed to first project. Now, if you wanted to do that for every single place where HTML appeared, we would have to click the second one. Now, as you can see, every place is first project just by clicking that button. And I'm going to hit Ctrl Z to undo. I'm going to cancel this first, and then I'm going to undo with Ctrl Z. So for this one, now the second icon right here is used for running your code. So once you hit it, you would run and preview your current code. Now currently we are seeing nothing to see here, and just like in the mobile version, by clicking on this place you could pop up the console log, and you could see a lot of things in your console log, whatever you're logging out here, whether it be errors or you're testing, you're debugging anything, you could see it on your console log. Now, another way we can run this app is by doing it on a real-time base by clicking on this third icon. When you click on this third icon, you notice that the screen is being shared on a 3 equal parts where you have your toolbar here, your coding environment, and then your screen where you see what you're programming. And just to test it out, we're going to go to the style.css. I'm going to add the text color to be blue, right? So I'm going to say color blue. Now, immediately you're going to see that the nothing to see here is already blue. And just see how it automatically refreshes itself, and you wouldn't have any need to save or anything like that. We could still go further and add a background color. The background color, say of purple, and immediately you see that the background changes to purple. So this is how powerful this is. Instead of writing your code and testing it out, you could literally be doing that real time while you are debugging, looking at your console, and also looking at your coding environment. Is so powerful. Another thing I would want us to look at on this place is that you could change your tab spaces by clicking on the right bottom icon right here, spaces, or change the HTML to another document. You could change the formatting. You could access these tools for navigating the UI environment, just like in the mobile version. You could have your tabs right here. Once you're clicking on them, you could see everything is working, just like in the mobile version. However, one new thing that you would notice is this AI icon right here, but it is for the paid version. So you would have to upgrade to the paid version of the app to have access to the AI completion tool. Now, you can also have access to some of your other tools like undo, redo. Although right here, you can simply use the shortcut Ctrl Z to do that if you have a keyboard. And you can also just like then add other formatting tools. And right here, we are seeing new ones like fold all, expand all, and the likes. Now, finally, the last place I'd like us to look at is the settings. Now, the settings is at the bottom right and left hand corner of the screen. So we click on the settings, and seriously, there's nothing so different with the previous one. Everything looks quite the same. If you've watched the mobile version, you could set your language to wherever it is your language is. My theme is still Dracula, just like in the mobile version. And as you can see, I have a custom background setting. You could see the logo smiles on the background. That's the custom settings. If you want to add yours, just simply click on set background, and then you could add your image from here by clicking on set background, and then you can move ahead from there. So I've already done mine. From there, you could access the file tab mode, you know, whether it's gonna be pinned on a date or it's gonna always be pinned. So right here we're having the text size to be at the default. You can make it large. Right now, if I enlarge the text, you'd see that my text actually increased, and I'm gonna leave it like this so that I think it makes it more possible for you to be able to see it. So the omelette display, I think these are some new features. If I click on omelette display, everything goes blank for some reason. Let me see how the editor looks. So the omelette display does not support the custom background. So I'm just gonna turn that off because I like my background so much. Actually, where did it put my background? I'm gonna put that back later. The complete send task is on. Cursor style, default, the font size, to put it to whatever size you want, font weight, the indentation and guide. So key bindings, as you can see, VS Code. So the application recognizes VS Code. You'd notice that some of the interactions that we're having has some sort of familiarity with the Visual Studio Code, and that is exactly what we're seeing here right now. The line, the print margin, you like print margins on your coding environment. Several new updates here for sure. Every other thing here is just something you could look at yourself. So you can easily access where you want to go in the settings, unlike in the mobile version. It could be Git, mobile, touch, about, and so on and so forth. Now, now to delete the project, you could simply go to the project, to the workshop or the workspace, and select the options icon, and then you could simply delete. You have to complete this task. Type in the correct numbers you see on the screen, and once you click OK, your project will be deleted. And this brings us to the last minute of this video. If you enjoyed it, I'd like you to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Subscriptions and your support helps us to make more videos like this. I'd like to see you in the next video. check out my other video on the mobile version of this app and tell me what you think about the desktop version of the app on the comment section below. See you